Live, the show where we talk about the skills, strategies, mindsets, and practices to help you and I become those performers that God has created us to be. Welcome. It's great to have you here. Excited. Let me start by saying Merry Christmas to you. It's the Christmas season, and I know that you are very, very excited. Just want to say Merry Christmas to you and to your family. Just want to say a big well done. I know that we're going into a very, very long weekend. That's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Going to be a very great and awesome time for you to just kick back, relax, enjoy yourself, enjoy your time with your family, with your friends, your loved ones. I just want to say Merry Christmas and let me know, apart from the high performance review we do every time when we meet in our live sessions like this, let me know, how are you going to spend your own Christmas? What's your Christmas plan? Are you traveling? Are you going to be in town? Are you going to be at home? Or are you going out? Do you have maybe an invitation for a party or something? Just let me know, what are your own Christmas plans. For me, most times Christmas Day is just a day for me to be at home with my wife and family. So just so excited about that. So please let me know, what are your own Christmas? What is your own Christmas plan, or what are your Christmas plans? Just type them in the comments. I would really want to know from you. So quickly, our high performance review for the week. Remember, we don't forget that, what we are grateful for, the lesson that we are learning, and what we are looking forward to in the upcoming week. I'm grateful for always the opportunity to be here with you on another live session like this. The lesson I'm learning this week is what separates rich people from others, which is what I'm going to be talking about in a couple of minutes. And what I'm looking forward to in the upcoming week is the day one webinar. I'll be talking about it now, January 1st. Few more days, we're counting down. It's just few more days to the beginning of the new year, to the first day of the new year, the year 2024. And how you start anything determines how you make the most of it. What is well begun is already half done. You know that saying, you are a high performer, so you know it. What is well begun is already half done. And that's why, for me, I believe it's so important for us to come together and strategize during the day one webinar, strategize and plan for the year. Don't let the year happen to you, you happen to the year. And that's why I've been talking about the day one webinar for a while now. It's happening January 1st, Monday, January 1st, 7 p.m. West African time. You need to be part of that. We have been coming on live sessions like this every Friday throughout the year 2023. It's been exciting, right? We just have one more Friday to go in this year, and we have been consistent, even though, well, I didn't quite start coming on live here on YouTube. It was on Instagram, Facebook. I can't remember when exactly in the year I started coming on live on YouTube like this. But since the time I started, we've been here every Friday evening. We are always here deliberating and talking and strategizing as high performers, looking at the previous week and planning for the week ahead. And for me, I'm just so excited. And so that's just what it is, that, talking about tools, ways, and strategies to help you stay consistent in the new year, where other people by February, 90% of people by February, most of them have even forgotten what is that goal that they had for the new year. I know that won't be you, and that's why I'm inviting you to come and be part of the day one webinar. Beyond having resolutions, beyond setting goals, I know you know how to set goals. What you need is a strategy. What you need is a battle plan to help you win your year. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about how to rule in the year 2024 and how to live your rich life in the year 2024. Is going to be very exciting. You don't want to miss it. And so just drop in the comments day one, and I'll make sure that you get the details for you to register for that webinar. Or you can hit me on Instagram and send me a DM on Instagram. Just say day one at Kyle on Instagram, and you would definitely have all the details for you to be part of that webinar. Can't wait to see you there. So that's my own high performance review for the week. What's yours? What are you grateful for this week? What is that lesson that you are learning this week? And what are you looking forward to in the upcoming week? Share it in the comment. I really would want. I want to know what's up with you. So great and awesome stuff, right? I said we are going to be talking about what separates rich people from others. What separates rich people from others. That's the topic of our conversation this evening. And I believe that this is very, very important because there are those things that separate rich people from other people. And it boils down to this thing, which is called the way that they think, which is the way that they think. Because they think differently, usually they see things differently, they feel things differently, and they behave differently. They act differently. You know, when I was thinking about this conversation that we're supposed to have, we're having right now, when I was thinking about it yesterday and even 2 days ago, and just thinking about, just putting my thoughts together, the picture that came to my mind is, though you see it in a lot of movies, right? A lot of movies, I don't know of really maybe local Nigerian movies, right? But a lot of foreign movies where you see the actor or whosoever going to a very unique, exclusive club. Sometimes those clubs are usually underground. There is no sign pointing that there is a club in that place. All that they know is that they've been given an information that there is a club there, and you see them, they go and knock on the door. The place is even looking sometimes very unkempt, just looking so dark and weird, and you're wondering what's happening there. And they knock on the door, and the next thing that you see is that the eye slot of the door opens, and then you only see the eye of the person on the other side of the door, say, and you hear the word password or access code. And usually the guy has already been given the password because they know you can't enter into the club unless you have the password, unless you have the access code. And mainly the words are said, no arguments, no query, no nothing at all. The door swings open and immediately you are hit with a loud blast of music that you never knew was even taking place. You now begin to see people and all that, and you have access into the place. And for me, that's just, it just gives me the beautiful picture of the exclusivity of rich people from other people, how they are separate, how they are different. It's exactly that they have an exclusive club that they belong to. They have that underground place where they meet and they chat and they know themselves. And the interesting thing is that you won't have access into that same place unless you know what is the access code, unless you know what is the password. There is that password to be part of that exclusive club of the rich. There is the passcode, there is the access code, and that's what we're going to be talking about in the next couple of minutes. What's the password to that exclusive club? What's the access code to that exclusive club? Many times we tend to fall for this thing and we think that, oh, it's about how I look, oh, it's about how I dress, it's about, okay, the kind of car I drive, that I live in a fancy part of town, or it's about my age or status or something. Now, while all those things are great and interesting, and really sometimes, just like you see it also in movies, that some people sometimes are able to bribe their way into the club or sneak past the bouncer at the door of the club and get into the club. But what do you see eventually happen? Somehow, they are found out. Somebody is able to identify that this guy doesn't belong here. And it just reminds me of that scripture where Jesus was telling the story. Was it a story now, a parable? I can't remember, but a story of the king who threw a wedding party for his son, and had his servants go in and bring in the guests. And while every other person as guests were there enjoying themselves and having a good time, they noticed this particular guy that was not dressed right for the occasion. And immediately the king pointed him out and asked his servants, hey, take that guy and kick him out. And so for me, that's just what it is, that at the end of the day, you can do things, you can fake it. I know you hear things like fake it until you make it, do this, do that, get various, so many things to make up for appearances, get the approval of people, win the approval and attention of people just to fit in and get into that exclusive club. But trust me, at the end of the day, what will stand the test of time? what will stand the test of time is knowing those real passwords, knowing the real password and the real access code to be part of that exclusive club. And it boils down to this thing that it's about how they think. It's about how they think. These things are not things, yes, we want to define rich people by the outward things, by the things that we can see outside. But if at the base of those things that we see outside is a foundation of something that is happening inside them, or is a foundation of something that is happening in their mind and in their hearts that makes them to see things differently, that makes them to feel things differently, and that makes them to behave differently. And because they feel, see things, and behave differently, their results are different. Their results are different from every other person. They stand out. And that's the things that I just want to share with you in the next couple of minutes. 5 things that separates rich people from others. 5 things that separate rich people from others. And number 1 is that rich people are specific. Rich people are specific. 5 things that separate rich people from others. Number 1, rich people are specific. One thing that you see about rich people is that they are very decisive. They make decisions and they decide quickly. They make a decision of what they want and they go for it. While every other person is looking at other people, for permission and asking and trying to get the opinion of other people. Oh, what kind of car should I drive? What kind of house should I live in? How much money do you think is appropriate that I should make in the year 2024? That's just the truth. People are, you find people that are waiting for other people to say, okay, this is what I want, and they'll say, okay, if that's what you want, probably that's what I should want too. You will not see that about rich people. Rich people are people that are decisive. They decide what they want, and they absolutely go for it. They are not specific. They are not vague. It was Dr. Mike Murdock that was sharing the story of a woman he met sometime, and she was just telling him, ranting and raving, oh, I want more money, I want more money, I want more money. And he says to her, okay, how much more money do you want? And she's like, I don't know, I just want more money. And then he takes out of his pocket a penny and puts it in her hand and says, there you go, now you have more money. And so that's just the thing, that at the end of the day, you discover that rich people are specific. They are very specific. They are not random. They are not scattered. They know what their rich life looks like. And that's my own question to you. What does your rich life look like? What's your vision for your own rich life? Not any other person's vision, not my vision, not your boss's vision, not your colleague's vision. What is your own vision for your rich life in the year 2024? You need to be able to answer those questions. You need to be able to bring it down and be specific and decide and go for it. At the end of the day, one thing that rich people understand is that making the wrong decision is better than making no decision at all. Because one thing that they understand is that even if it's the wrong decision, what they want to do is that they want to make the decisions quickly, learn the lessons quickly, recover and move forward. While the other person is still there trying to decide. They have made some mistakes, maybe made some wrong decisions, learned the lessons quickly, corrected themselves, and have made quick, very, very fast progress. So if there's anything that is going to be the distinguishing factor for every one of us as high performers in this year 2024 that we're about to go into, is about your ability to make decisions and to make decisions quickly, to be specific. The second thing that separates rich people from others is that they have a system. Rich people have a system. So it's not enough to be able to just make decisions. They have a system that helps them to stick with those decisions. It's very, very important. I will never forget. I don't know where I heard it before. I'm feeling like, that's so powerful. If that inspiration just came to me, as in that, how I could come up with a very intelligent statement like that, don't mind me, I'm feeling myself. Because I keep feeling that I heard that quote somewhere, but I've been checking Google, I've not seen it anywhere. So I'm like, okay, it was God that inspired this quote to you. Oh, awesome, nice one. And that's the fact that for a very long time, I've always had this thing in my mind that says, good intentions are not enough to work a God idea. I'll say it again, good intentions are not enough to work a God idea. Now, what that simply means is that, look, there's just so far that willpower can take you. And that's just the thing. Many times we tend to pride ourselves in that thing. Oh, I have a strong will. I am very determined, to do those things that I want to do. But at the end of the day, what makes the difference is having a system in place. Instead of every time trying to strengthen your will, trying to strengthen your determination, why not just put a system in place that helps you, frees you up to be able to freeze your brain up, freeze your mind up, freeze your willpower up for the new things that are coming into your life. So that's just the thing. They have a system, and specifically when it comes to their finances, they have a system in place. And so that's just what it is. In this year 2024, what's the system for your money? What's the system for your finances? Do you have a system in place? It's very important. Another word for system is a routine that is made up of habits and practices that are not just things that you do, but that are a part of your identity. That's just the thing. The system that the rich people have in place, their routine, their habits, their practices, is part of their identity, is not something that they do. So a rich person is not trying to save. A rich person is a saver. A rich person is not trying to invest. A rich person is an investor. Those things are part of their identity. And so it's coming back to that place to say to yourself that what is that system? What are those practices? What are those habits that you are putting in place that you are making as part of your identity? You are not trying to do it. You are it. That is who you are. That is who you are. There's a difference between, oh, I am trying not to drink, let's take for example, soda drinks, and there's a difference between I'm trying not to drink soda drinks and I don't drink soda drinks. They are two big different things. I am trying not to drink soda drinks and I don't drink soda drinks. They are two different things. One is about, willpower and trying to exert oneself. The other one is about the fact that this is just who I am. I don't take it. It's just me. That is just my identity. That's who I am. Does it mean that you are flawless and perfect and you will never make mistakes? No, that doesn't mean, but it boils down to the fact that this is your identity. Even when you make the mistakes, you realize that that's just the mistake. It doesn't mean that you are a failure. You recover quickly and keep moving on. So that's the thing. You need to have a system in place. The third thing about that separates rich people from others is that rich people respect the small. Rich people respect small. They respect small. Now, has this thing ever happened to you? When you gave money to somebody, maybe either in cash or you made a transfer to somebody, you gave them a gift, or maybe they asked you for a loan, and the money that you really wanted to, you would have loved to give to them, you weren't able to give them. So you couldn't give them that particular amount, and then you are now coming back and say, oh, you know what, I'm so sorry. Please just manage this very small gift. It's because things are very difficult and tight and hard for me now. That's why I can only give this small gift. If I had more, I would really want to give you more. Please just manage this small gift. And we're going on and on and on, feeling guilty that we don't have more to give, feeling guilty that what we are giving is a small gift. Now, one thing I can assure you is that rich people don't think like this at all. They don't think like this at all. One thing about rich people is that they respect the small. They respect small because they know that small is where big comes from. They know that everything great that you see in the world today started small. Jesus, the Son of God, didn't come into this world as an adult. He came into the world as a baby. There's a reason why God set that template, set that precedence for us to make us understand that small is powerful, small is great. It has to be small before it becomes something great. And so they don't feel any form of guilt. They don't feel any form. That's just one example, that I'm giving, because at the end of the day, many times many of us pay lip service and say, oh, you know what, small acts can actually make a difference. But if you check it on a subconscious level, you don't believe that. It's only on a conscious level you believe that small acts can make a difference. But when you check it in your unguarded moments, you will discover that what you truly believe is that small does not make a difference. If the thing is not big, if the thing is not large, to you, it's nothing significant. And the interesting thing is that just that one unconscious thought, unconscious belief is what is holding many people back from getting to the next level in their finances, because they keep saying, oh, this thing is small, this thing is small, this money that I have is small, it cannot make any difference, it cannot but we need to understand that rich people respect the small, because small is where big comes from. Small is where big comes from. He said, Jesus himself, he said, if you have a faith as small as a mustard seed, as in today, I was still checking it online on Google. That seed, you can barely see it. You can barely see it. But he says, as small as that, you will say to this mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, and it will happen. You will have what you say. That's to tell us that small is powerful, small is great. And one thing about rich people, one thing about the club of the rich is that they respect small. I love the way Brendan Burchard puts it. He said, you are not afraid to start your dream. You are just embarrassed to be seen starting small. For me, that's just so powerful. I say that again. He said, you are not afraid to start your dream. You are just embarrassed to be seen starting small. And so that when you now reorientate it and say to yourself that, see, dude, what is happening? It is that small thing that you are going to have to use to experiment. Just like scientists, when they go into the lab and they want to do their research and do their experiments, they don't carry the entire vial, is it vial or whatever? Please permit me. The entire vial, which is the big container of the acid, and pour it into whatever thing that they are trying to mix. Instead, when they are doing their research, they will take a little bit and test it. And it's from that small, it's from that seemingly little that they make life-changing discoveries, because they respect the small. And it's the same thing with rich people. Because they respect the small, their life absolutely changes. One thing about rich people is that they understand that, see, life is a game of inches. For you, I was still hearing it some days ago, and for me, both the person that was saying it and even me that was listening to it, we just got to that point where I said to ourselves, it's really, really scary. It's really, really scary. That is the very little things. It's the inches that make a difference. Life is a game of inches. It's not a game of meters. It's not a game of yards. It's not a game of feet. It's a game of inches. It's the very little things, the things that we overlook, the things that we say, it doesn't matter. It's those little things, these small things that makes the difference between excellence and mediocre. And so that's just the thing, that if there is anything that, anyway, we are going to think differently when we go, as we enter into this year 2024, is that we need to respect small, because that's one thing about rich people, they respect small. The fourth thing about rich that separates rich people from other people is that rich people are skillful spenders. Rich people are skillful spenders. That's just it. So when you say, is there a skill to spending money? Oh, yes, there is a skill. In fact, anytime I'm tempted to doubt that there's a skill to spending money, I remember my wife. She is highly skillful. That's her number one talent. As in very, very gifted, very, very skillful when it comes to spending money, that even me up to now, I'm still learning from her. And so that's just the thing. That's just on a lighter note. But that's just the thing, that there is a skill. There is a skill to spending money. And number one is that you need to have a spending plan. you need to have a spending plan. What is your spending plan? As we go into the year 2024, the one thing that you need to have on your mind is that what is your spending plan? What is your spending plan? You need to have that in place, because that's one thing rich people do. They have their spending plan in place. And then the second thing is that when it comes to spending on the things that you love, do not attach emotions like guilt to spending on the things that you love. Because one thing that we need to realize is that, see, there is a strong correlation between your emotions and your finances, between your emotions and money. Money, another word for money is currency, right? So that means it's a current, it flows. The same thing, emotions are currents, they flow. Emotions are energy in motion, they are in constant flow. And so what ultimately happens is that where the energy goes, the money follows, the money current follows. So anywhere there is a negative emotion, what happens is that the money is being repelled. Anywhere where the positive emotion is, the money follows that same strong energy. And that's why, see, it's a totally different mindset, to spending money, because many of us grew up with this belief that if you are spending money on something that you like or something that you love, if you are spending money on luxury, you should feel guilty. You should feel guilty for spending that money. But that's one thing that rich people do. They have what is called guilt-free spending to the things that they love, on the things that they love, whether it's luxury or not. They want it, they love it, they like it. Now, just like I said, we have already talked about a spending plan. So this is not about being a reckless spender, please. That's not what it is. You have your spending plan, and in your spending plan is to identify what are those things that you love, and don't have any guilt spending on those things. Because that's just the thing. It's a positive emotion. And the more you have that positive energy, the more you place value on yourself, the more the value that will come to you. The more the value that will come to you. So it's very, very important. Don't attach any emotions like guilt. Many people have their own idea, their own philosophy, their own ideology about how you should spend your money. Why you mean you spent that amount to buy that shoe? That money could have been used to buy land. You mean you spent that amount to buy that phone? That money could have been used to buy land. You mean on and on and on and on and on and on. They have their own ideologies. You, at the end of the day, knows what you want. You know what you like. It's a 360-degree turn. Yes, I know. I know that you probably grew up in the household where you were told, do you think money grows on trees? Do you think that you pick money from the ground? All those things have a way of, affecting our minds to the point that the thing that you loved, you want to buy, you want to spend money on it, and you are feeling guilty about it. This year 2024, yes, well, I know that you can absolutely relate with that. So this year 2024, it's about thinking differently, it's about feeling differently. Don't attach any negative emotions to spending on the things that you love. Have your spending plan in place. Decide what you want. It's either you buy it or don't buy it. But if you make the decision to buy it, don't attach any negative emotion to spending that money. Now, there's also the place where, for instance, you have to make a sacrifice in terms of an investment into your future. And that can be painful, right? You're making an investment maybe into your personal development, and it's costing you quite some money, or actually a financial investment that you are looking forward to reaping the dividends in the future. It can be actually painful for you to do something like that. But the interesting thing is that that's good pain. That's not a bad pain. That's a good pain, because one thing about the laws of the universe is that there is the law called the law of sacrifice. And in scripture, it talks about, it said, I will not offer unto God something that does not, that costs me nothing. Or how did he say it? What he's just saying is that any sacrifice that I'm giving to God, it must cost me. I must feel the pinch in me. That is not guilt. That is the sense of the fact that you are making a sacrifice. And it's the law of the universe. Any sacrifice, you can be sure that the reward is absolutely coming. The final thing that separates rich people from others is the fact that rich people serve. Rich people serve. Rich people serve. I know it's not something that you were expecting, right? But I'm seeing it every day and every day that there is a strong correlation between the quality of your relationships and your financial success. It's you just can't avoid it. This is going out, especially to, I don't know if that's you, but to somebody that who has, so honored their ability to work very hard and their level of intelligence. It's just to come back to that place to say to you that, see, how you treat people matters very well. The missing link, the key that might just be missing for you to get to that next level that you want to get to in your finances might just be the way that you are treating people. And I'm sure you are like, no, Kayode, come on, how will you attack me like that? You don't know me. I'm a very nice person. The K in my name stands for kind, stands for caring. I'm a very nice person. I'm very, very good. I treat people well. Yes, please, I didn't say at all that you treat people badly. I didn't say that you are a bad person. I'm just saying that to go to the next level in our finances, there is the next level of how we treat people. And many times it's not about the way we treat strangers or people that we are not so familiar with, because there is a tendency, we always have that tendency to be on our best behavior when it has to do with people we are just meeting for the first time or people we are not very familiar with. It's about how you treat the people that you are familiar with. That word family is from the word familiar, or I don't know whether familiar is from the word family. Either way, the chicken or the egg, they shall mean the same thing. So it's especially about how we treat those people that we are familiar with, how you treat your spouse, how you treat your kids, how you treat your parents, how you treat your siblings, those people that we are really familiar with, those colleagues that you have worked with for the past 5 years. How are you treating them? It's very, very important. It's not a mistake that scripture says that he who finds a wife has found a good thing and obtains favor from God. Many times, I don't know about you, me, that's what I used to feel, that, it's about the finding now. So it's about, okay, the dating, the courtship, the engagement, and maybe the first few years of marriage, that's the finding that, the Bible is talking about. And so that's a good thing, and you receive favor from God, and that favor continues. But what I'm realizing every day is that, no, that's not what that scripture is saying. That scripture is saying you will continue to find. Even 10 years after marriage, you will still continue to find. You are still finding. You are still finding. After 20 years, you are still finding. After 30 years, you are still finding. You are finding and looking at that person with fresh eyes. And it goes both for husband and it goes for wives. That if you are going to keep enjoying favor in your finances, you have to be refining. You have to be finding anew. Jesus, I'm speaking King James English, please forgive me. You need to be finding afresh every day, every year. That's your spouse and that's your loved one. If you are going to keep enjoying favor, it's very important. And trust me, it's hard. It's difficult because that's the whole idea, that this person you're already familiar with, you're already used to that person. It can be so frustrating that you, the grown man that you are, for somebody to be summoning you to come to the bathroom, to come and look at a stain that you caused. It can be very annoying. You can just want to tear the hair out of your head and say, see, look, mind yourself. I put you in this house. You didn't put me in this house. I am older than you. This is my house. But look, I don't want to say to you, see, just humble yourself and serve. Humble yourself and treat the person with respect. Humble yourself and do what they want. It can be hard. Yes, I know it can be difficult. But one thing I'm realizing that it's a test. It's a test. Life is a big test. God is testing you. The universe is testing you. Whatever you want to think about it is a test. It's up to you to pass that test, because you know what is happening. See, there are new relationships that are coming your way. New relationships that are going to bring mind-boggling, mind-blowing opportunities for you in your finances. But the whole thing that is happening is that God wants to see how you would treat those new relationships that are coming. And the only way he can measure how you treat those new relationships that are coming is how you treat the relationships that you are in right now. Will you keep commonizing them? Will you keep looking at, is it not is it not that person? I think that's just what it is. That's what it is. That we need to pass the test. It's all a test. I love the way the Apostle Paul puts it. Is I think in 2 Corinthians, I can't quite remember right now, the Message translation, it says marriage is not the place to stand up for your rights. Marriage is a decision to serve somebody else. That, for me, that's just so powerful. And it's not just about the power, it's about that we need to do it. We need to do it. Even as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself every day, because I can't tell you how many times I failed the test. I will tell myself that I will do it, but right in the heat of the thing, I'm not that me will just jump out, and I'm just like, come on, Kayode, behave yourself. Now, this is what we said we are going to do. Why are you behaving differently? But I've also come to that place where, it's not about putting yourself down. It's about the fact that, see, we'll just come back and tell yourself that you can do better. That's the essence of these our conversations, right? Every time we meet on High Performance Live, to encourage ourselves, because we know that none of us are perfect. We are on this journey together, right? And so it's to keep talking to ourselves. And especially as we go into the year 2024, go into the year 2024 to serve as a servant, with the mindset to serve, with the mindset, and not just make it a mindset, let it be your behavior. Let it be your behavior, because just like I said, what separates rich people from others is the way they think, and the way they think shows up in their perspective, in their feelings, and in their behavior. So enough of paying lip service to this thing. Let us actually do it. Let us actually receive God's grace, for God to help us, because it's not easy for us to do this thing, but that is the key. That is the key to that change that we are looking for. And so that's it. 5 things that separates rich people from others. Number 1, remember, they are specific. They know what they want. They decide on what they want and they go for it. They are not waiting for anybody's permission. They decide what they want. They go for it. Number 2 is that they have a system in place. It's not enough to have will, to have determination. You need a system in place. You need routines. You need a set of habits. You need practices that are designed, a system for your money, a system for your finances. Number 3 is that they respect small. Rich people respect small. They know small is where big comes from. They know that they may start small, but they will not remain small. Number 4 thing is that rich people are skillful spenders. They have a spending plan, and they do not attach guilt to spending on the things that they love or on luxury. And then finally is that rich people serve. Rich people serve. And so that's it. I know that you found that very, very insightful. This is not everything, definitely, that separates rich people from others, but it gives us a lot to think about, right? It gives us a lot to think about. And even if you have been doing these things, it's about coming back to that place and saying to yourself, okay, how can I redouble my commitment to doing this thing? Or these things that I've been doing, okay, how can I do it in a different way? How can I do it in a more innovative way, in a more interesting way, in a more fun way? Or how can I bring other people along? Because that's another thing. This might be the time for you to, to start mentoring other people, to start sharing these things that you know with other people, because so many people don't know these things, and they might never know unless you share it with them. They might never know unless you share it with them. That's also, you think that, somehow, they will eventually know this thing. But the truth about it is that there is a reason why you are in that circle of influence, because they might not know these things unless you share it with them. It's about the small things. That small advice, remember, it's not small. Small is where big comes from. You don't know what that small advice, that small knowledge, that small information that you have, the kind of impact it will make in the life of somebody else when you share it. And so you need to remember that you are a high performer. I'm so excited. I've had a great time this evening. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments, or remember, you can on Instagram at Kayode Kolade, send me a DM. Let's talk. Let's make those goals happen. It's few days to the end of year 2024. This year 2024 has to be different. It has no choice. it has to be different for you. It has to be different for me. And it's coming back to that place, saying to ourselves that if it's going to be different, then we need to think differently. We need to see things differently. We need to feel differently, and we need to behave differently. It's very, very important. So excited. Thank you so much for being here with me this evening. You are the real MVP. Thank you so much. Want to say a Merry Christmas again to you. Enjoy your Christmas weekend. Enjoy your time with your family. Enjoy your time with your loved ones. Save some rice and chicken for me. Don't eat it all. And when they give you that big plate, just in your mind, just say to yourself, okay, half. I'm keeping it for Kayode in in your mind. So don't eat, but don't eat too much. You know, right? So just enjoy yourself, have fun, just have a great time. As you do that, don't forget your habits and your practices. Just because it's holiday season doesn't mean your habits and practices should go on holidays. Keep doing those things that you need to do. The newsletter is still coming out on Sunday. You can look forward to it. Brand new video is also coming out on Sunday, talking about how to feed your mind, body, and spirit. Look out for all those things. I think and interestingly, I didn't plan it, but you know, it kind of correlates with the season, right? Where this is a lot of eating and all that. So, oh, that's nice. So you really should watch that video. And please, most importantly, like and share this content with somebody else. Just like I said, it might be small, but it will make a huge difference. It will make a big difference. Like and share this content, like and share this live video with somebody. Share the videos that are coming out on Sunday, the reels, the shorts that are coming out within the week. Share them with somebody. I know that they will be very grateful to you that you did. Thank you so much. Enjoy yourself. We'll talk to you very soon. Your greatness is very sure.